What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Peter Parkour of the Distorted Theorists, and I am here today to talk about Season 2 of ARCANE on Netflix. Now, excuse me, diseased. Before we get into anything else, there's always a bit of housekeeping to take care of. If you are new to the channel, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We're hoping to hit that number before Sci-Fi on the Rock 2025. If you are returning to the channel, make sure to hit that share button, like the video, and comment down below what you thought of ARCANE Season 2 and overall ARCANE in general. I just repeated myself under redundant, see redundant. Now, ARCANE Season 2. What did I think about it? I loved it. What an absolute bombshell. What a gong show. I can't call it a masterpiece because as much as I loved it, there were flaws. For those of you who haven't watched Season 1, go watch it. Seriously, ARCANE Season 1 is probably one of the best animated shows on Netflix, if not the best animated show, in my opinion, of all time. It is up there for sure. Now, again, I've said before that one of my favorite shows of all time is on Netflix as well, called Blue-Eyed Samurai. Fantastic animation. But ARCANE holds a special place in my heart because I didn't know anything about it. I saw Blue-Eyed Samurai from a ways away and did a little research and like, oh, this is up my alley. ARCANE, I didn't know anything. The only reason that I looked it up was following, again, part of the reason why it's so special to me was I took a picture. I asked to take their picture at mine and Justin's first Sci-Fi on the Rock, someone who was dressed up as Jinx. And I asked, like, what is Jinx from? And they told me Jinx is from League of Legends, but my version is, I try to make it as close to the ARCANE show. And they said there's a show about it, and so on and so forth. While I was recovering from the COVID the following week, I binged it in, I believe, in less than a day. And I've had to wait for, well, pretty much almost 3 years for the new season to drop. And what a special wait that was. Season 2 did not drop episodically. It dropped 3 episodes in 3 different chunks. So it was a 9-episode show with 3 episodes that basically could have been small movies. And each block of 3 episodes kind of had their own arc. The first 3 was the fallout from Season 1. The second 3 was more so, okay, we're going to try and figure out what we can do to make this a better place and what is the bigger threat. And the final 3 was dealing with said threat. Before I get into what I absolutely loved about the show, which is pretty much what I loved about the first season of the show, is I'm going to talk about the flaws. The biggest flaw that I have about this show, well, there's two biggest flaws. And the first one is that the ending of the show, it wrapped up entirely too quickly. There were certain storylines that I would have loved to have seen expanded upon if we could have had a 3rd season. There is a way I feel that this could have been broken up into 2 seasons and extended, but I understand that this was a very expensive show to make, and I think they were kind of under pressure to finish what they started in 2 seasons. So the final act, pretty much, it's firing on all cylinders. Things are happening. Bang, bang, boom. It's explosions. There's fights. There's action. And then it just, boop, it's over. And I have a hard time with that because after, I don't want to say growing up, but I feel connecting with these characters over, well, I mean, in terms of watch time, 6 hours really and truly across the first and second season. But for 6 hours of this show to be running, and for myself and anyone else, because there's a reason that they made a second season, is because it was so well received. For anyone else that connected with these characters, they're very important. I understand that there's the video game aspect of it as well. I know nothing about League of Legends. I don't know what Jace is like in the show, or Jinx, or Vi, or I don't even know what Vander's in the show. I have no idea about these characters. Please, anyone out there, I don't want to go looking for it. I want you to tell me about the differences between the lore of the video game and the lore of the show, and how similar the characters are, and so on and so forth. And I just don't feel that a lot of characters got their got what their ending that they should have. Whether it was an ending that I feel that they should have, I just felt that a lot of the endings were very abrupt and just kind of left. Now, from what I understand, is that the creators of the show do want to explore more of this universe with maybe other versions of the show and new seasons of something else. But the characters that I've loved in this show most likely aren't going to be in it. There could be something along the lines of some callbacks, or someone may survive into the next version of the show. But I've got to say that it wasn't that it was short. It was the right length, but I would have loved to have seen it extend at least maybe as like an epilogue episode or two where we can get the final stories of a lot of these characters. Um, Something else that I mentioned that I was like, the biggest flaw with it is that it is over. I just talked about this, and it's a shame because it's such a cool show. It's such an important show, because it shows the importance of family, forgiving, not necessarily forgetting, the dangers of falling in with religion. I'm not saying religion and faith are a bad thing at all, but there's a certain storyline in this that you seem to be thinking, oh, wow, this actually could be working out, and I can see some parallels. And then it goes very wrong. Why does it go very wrong? That's it. Faith is important. I'm not saying that anyone should not be paying attention to anything like that or be involved in faith in anything like that at all. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. But what I am saying is you just need to know the full story. Sorry, my dog is looking at me very lovingly. Hi. I'm talking to these beautiful folks. You're going to have to wait. And a lot of the characters that were in the first season, they do make a comeback in this season as well. And they're very important. Some get storylines, some get very abrupt storylines that are ended. There were characters that you loved to hate in the first season that make a return in this season that you're like, oh, they've kind of made a change. Why have they made this change? It's explained, but it's not. Again, there's a couple of scenarios which are very much Batman versus Superman. Martha, oh, I've had a change of heart. We're bros now. We're sisters. But the action that is in this, it can't be recreated in live action. It can't. If you can, prove me wrong. Please make action like this that was in Arcane. The other reason that Arcane works so well is the music. The music that gets cut in with certain artistic takes on different scenes. We see our characters. We see Jinx and Vi and Vander and all these throughout the entire show, season 1 and season 2. And I'm forgetting everyone's names, Jace and Mel and her mother and all these different characters, that when they get some of their moments or anything in Echo, that the show, even though it's animated, it becomes more animated or less animated. It's a different artistic view on something that you're seeing, and it really packs a punch in almost every single episode, and that's what works so well. And that's part of the reason the music works so well, is because, oh, you wouldn't necessarily think that this scene that's reacting to a street fight could result in not hardcore rap, but basically like a trap beat. You wouldn't expect to see that. And then there's a very heartfelt scene where I don't know the name of the band, but the song reminded me of something very similar that Coldplay would produce, and it evokes a very emotional response. And it's just, I can't talk about how much. If I wanted to just keep talking about how much I love this show, there wouldn't be enough time. I'd have to break this up into a number of videos. And there's just, I don't have time for that because you guys have other videos to watch too. So overall, when it comes down to Arcane Season 2, it's a very, very good show. You should absolutely watch it. If you haven't watched Season 1, do yourself a favor and go watch it. I understand that the subject material may not be important or it might not resonate with you, but the storylines are there. It's the importance of family, the importance of rising up through the issues that you've had in the past and showing that you're stronger and can grow from them. It shows that the story is telling you that you don't have to take crap sitting down. You can resist in your own way. Now, you don't have to blow up a city or anything like that. Please don't do that. I'm not advocating that, but you make a stand for yourself. If it's important to you, then fight for it. The inclusion. The show is not afraid to include very many, in some areas of the world, controversial topics. And you know what? It works. Who cares about this stuff anymore? I don't say that we shouldn't care about it, but it seems like it's an important thing in other areas of the world when it doesn't need to be. Love, family, it's all there. Redemption, faith is a part of this, as I mentioned before. It's got so much of this, and I feel that it's important. And underneath all of that is a very cool action-driven show. Yeah, it's got its magic, it's got its runes, it's got its weirdness, but it's very steampunk, it's very action-driven, and I love it. And I really, really wish we could have gotten more of the characters that you grow to love and just grow with in this film. So, a film. Well, it is basically a film. If you run it all together, it's about let's say 4 hours long. So yeah, watch both seasons and then come back and tell me what you think of it. So, I just kind of droned on for a long time about Arcane season 2. I'm very upset with the producers and developers that we're not going to get another season of these characters. We're going to get another something. I'm sure we are. But I wish we could, because, excuse me, oh my God, that was gross. That was right into the mic. I just fell in love with all this. I can't say that enough. Now, and what am I going to rate this out of? Well, again, it ranks pretty high on my scale. If you weren't watching any part of this video, it ranks pretty high on my scale because I haven't stopped talking about the things that I love about it. But again, the biggest thing that mattered is that I wasn't on my phone. I was completely focused on this show while I was watching this. So I'm going to be giving this a 9.5. And overall, what am I going to say for this? Arcane in general, I'm going to give a 9. And this season, no, I'm going to flip it on. I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to give this season a 9, and I'm going to give the entire show, season 1 and season 2, a 9.5. I don't know how that works out. Figure out what it is. It's really good. Go and watch it. Is it perfect? No, but it is damn good. Okay? So before I sign off, as always, if you are new to the channel, do me a favor, do Justin a favor, hit that subscribe button. We are still on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit that number before Sci-Fi on the Rock 2025. And if you are new, or if you are a returning viewer, make sure to hit that share button, hit that like button, and comment down below. I would love to discuss Arcane with anyone who takes the time to comment down below. So with that, I am Peter Parkour of the Distorted Theorists, and like we always say around here, keep it real.